Good morning. It's October the 21st. Can you believe how fast the time just scoots and gets away from us? And every day we have to wake up and try to figure out what else is going on. Lovely weather here in the Central Plains, running at least 10 degrees higher than normal. Yesterday I painted an 84 coming home from the gym, so much warmer than normal. No moisture in the forecast, unfortunately. I follow 2 weather points around the world. I look at Yakutsk, and Yakutsk in Russia, which is close to the coldest spot on the face of the Earth in the northern hemisphere, is going to have 7 degrees Fahrenheit today and -6 overnight. So the cold is building up over Russia, and eventually the Arctic and gets into Canada and spots farther south. So winter is starting to show in other places. Canada and northern Canada and Alaska reported to have more snowfall and colder temperatures earlier than normal, but sure hadn't visited the lower 48 for long. So life is pretty good here on the Southern Plains. I think today's trading probably is going to be driven by the E-mini, but I don't think the market will break. I think we've got really good support down here, starting at 16, perhaps as low as 8. And I think we got pretty good resistance in the 28 area, and then definitely 28.04 to 08. The selling started in London. The buying in the United States in the indexes started in London. The European markets were up. The European equity markets were up off of a couple of stock issues, a couple of banks from Sweden that beat the estimates. China's economic numbers are still above 7. They did beat the estimates by a little bit, below last year's numbers for this time, but well above the rest of the world with 7.3% GDP growth reported. So the United States and China are still the 2 economic machines or economies that are looking to hold up the rest of the world. We even see articles that a recession in Europe is not necessarily a bad thing. Tell that to the people in Europe that are looking for work. I mean, economic growth solves a lot of problems. There's no way to get around that. And you can make a lot of entrenched social issues disappear. You can make the repayment of debt over time much faster if you've got economic growth. And right now, the world's policies are aligned against it with more taxes, more rules and regulations. And these people that control the rules and regulations and the policy are pretty content with things the way that they are. And they're going to fight like hell to keep it that way because they have an advantage, an economic advantage. So today's news is existing home sales, and it's at 5.1. That's 5 million is pretty much the default number. Usually doesn't have a lot of impact on the markets. Last night's Apple earnings per share came in 12 cents above forecast. Some people would guess that. iPhone sales are ahead of where they thought they would be, and with China's allowance of the iPhone coming to China now, they're likely to be probably better than forecast for the rest of the year and into 2015. So I really think it's down to the E-mini's reaction to in the day session to Apple's numbers, what has happened overnight, whether they can continue the growth. 1905 roughly is 50% retracement. We're above that number now. So if 1905 holds, this market can trade, and it'll be fueled by short covering. And if it does trade higher, that's likely to take the financials lower. So once again, we're tied to what the E-mini is going to do. Actually, that makes it fairly easy for us to, it makes it for easier trading for us, this inverse relationship. Even with the schizophrenia that is often the mark of the E-mini, where it doesn't trade fundamentals. Okay, London split on this also to show you again. Just you have to be what London has done. Pattern looks the same. You've got pretty good support down here in this 142, perhaps 16 to 20, but definitely 12 to 16. Allowing him to get stops below the overnight session low. I'm going to put 17 to start out, but it might be a 17 to 21. But I think we got a shot, because I think what will happen in the E-mini is that the squeeze will be on. They'll take the shorts out in the day session when there's liquidity. The selling right here, 31 to 03, and then 7 to 11. And so I'm really kind of anticipating a trading range today with a little bit a downward bias off the opening. Gold is up. That's a risk-off investment. Equities are higher, so there's a little anomaly right there that we have to deal with. Something doesn't add up. There were stories out that retail jewelry sales in India have picked up again. And it truly is one of those countries where wealth can be worn around, and quite often is worn around your neck. We had our second sell zone yesterday was basically against 55. We had a 48 to 50 to start out. London's I can get it to split here. There we go. The high was set in London, and we last stayed down yesterday, stopped in the 44, 45 area. We're at 47, so to let them get stops below 45, we'll make buy one 43, 45, and back to our 40 plus or minus. On the sell side, the spill came from 52, so 52, 55, sell one, 60, sell two. I don't think the conditions are right for the rally today, so I think we'll get a little selling right off the bat. You can see all this volume down in this 39 area. We'll hold the market, or 45, so 30, say 38. 39 to 45 is probably where we find pretty good support. Don't have real strong feelings about gold today. I'm probably like the rest of the world. You don't have a compelling reason to be long nor short, and the market has managed to trade higher even with stock market buying, so something is a little bit out of whack. Okay, the euro finally sold last night. And again, our opportunities really come in London on this particular contract, and the number 2 sell area for us yesterday was in the 40 to 50. We got up to it. The selling is because of inflating of the currency. They want a weaker euro. So we got 40 to 50, buy one. In our 10 to 20, buy two. Structurally right here, 85, 95, sell one. And then 55, sell two. I think buying that's of securities, and with Greece making a bunch of noise, that the euro is still a long-time sell. Goldman target at 25. We almost touched it. We're due for a retest of that sometime before the year is out. So I think the long-term money is still positioning from the short side, but you have a 128.50 plus mark, and this market broke out from the 27 area, so 127, 127.50 is support right now. Okay, looking at crude oil. And I'm going to separate out London right here. 82.50 to 75. Is where resistance is. 83, 83 and a quarter would be S2. On the buy side, 81.70. I'm going to make it 81.50 to 75 buy one. I think we can sell today, but I got a question mark here at 82. 82 might hold. And then 81 even, 81.25 for buy two. The crude is coming down because of supply and softening demand around the globe. I don't see that changing. You know, one of the interesting things about politics is the business cycle and how it's definitely tied to presidential elections. So everybody really pumps it up, the economy up running into the presidential cycle, and then they let it go. If a recession is going to happen, it'll be over in the first 2 years of the presidency, and then good times for the next election for that particular president. Right now, we've got a lot of pump priming, a lot of government spending. September, if they don't spend all they have in their account, they don't get it next year. They have no incentive to save money. So once the elections are out of the way and once the next shoe on Obamacare drops, and I don't know what's going to happen on immigration policy. Everybody says that they're going to open the borders after the election. Who knows? But the conditions will be ripe for another economic slowdown. Okay, this 15, you can see a low volume area in here with a low volume number at basically 1905, which is 50% retracement. I think 1905 is kind of a key number for us. If we can stay above that, this market, I mean, the pressure will clearly be on the shorts. The tractor is up here in this 25 to 30 area. We have the overnight session high. That is resistance. So 14 to 16 is sell one. And then 19 to 21 will be sell two. Let them go get stops. That's probably a little bit better play. But I think the battle is going to be fought right here at 19.5. We've got volume at basically under 1900, so buy one will be 99 to 01. And then the last rotate down in London stopped at 91, so this 94, 96 will be buy two. So I think this 91 area is pretty important. And then I think this 05 area is pretty important. The buying in the stock market, like we talked about earlier, China's numbers were higher than forecast. Apple's earnings were higher than forecast. The European two banks from Sweden, or two companies, one of them was a bank, beat their estimates. So earnings per share beat in the U.S. and Europe account for their high, and obviously QE1 in Europe, and then China's numbers. Now, what's the interesting thing is on China's numbers is that Japan and China both sold last night. Hong Kong was marginally up. So even with a beat on their economic forecast, China's stock market managed to sell. And that would be something that would be a little hard to explain. The rallies are tied to news, etc. So not all clear sailing overnight, because China's beat of their economic forecast was cited as a reason for the rally. Apple was widely anticipated. They expected them to beat by 10 to 15 cents per share. They beat it by 12. Funny how that works, right in the middle. So the next big dynamic we will play with are those that are still short from above and getting stops above the overnight session high. So if 1905 holds, this market can trade up, and don't be surprised to see the 1925, 1930 area, which is where we're headed. So our numbers on the sell side are fairly aggressive. 14 to 16 is where resistance is. 19 to 21 allows them to get stops above the overnight session high. On the buy side, we're leaning against a high volume number. It may have to pay up. It may take 5s to 7s to get in, but we'll start out with 99 to 01 and then 95 to 97. So I think 95 to 1900 is pretty good support. And then resistance is either 15 to 20, or we're going to trade higher as the shorts get squeezed. Okay, it'll take at least 15 minutes to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy on that.